hills and build them high. Makes a long time climbing before I die. I want the chance to spit in his eye. Well, they gave me bars, but I can see between to a dusty yard and long gone green. They call that freedom, if you know what I mean. And I dry my sorrows, but the whiskey's gone. I'm sober as a judge.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Shortbangers. I'm Matty, joined tonight by Colin and John. Colin, how are you doing?
I'm all right, aye. I'm not bad. How are you?
Good. Aye.
I was going to do the look happy bit there, and I thought, nah, I'm not falling into the trap.
Do you know, literally every Hibs podcast that was out there this week did it in their intro. Like,
Aye, I'm
it
glad
was an open goal.
I stepped back.
You could have known it, to be fair.
I managed that.
We all had the same podcast title. We all did the same for them. Very original. John, how are you? How are you doing?
Doing really well, aye. Good. It's a less busy week than I've had the last few weeks, but here we are.
Aye, that's good because it's reset week.
Aye, and seemingly I'm either really intelligent or I've put in enough work that I didn't have to do any resets. So,
Is it just first year?
Aye, it's the HNC. So I was saying to someone that the lecturers, I think, even though I've been putting the work in and getting things handed in on time, like I think the lecturers are pretty much bending over backwards to make sure that folk pass. Like there was a boy maybe last week or the week before came in on Friday for an exam with a lecturer that he hadn't. Sorry, so I've got the same lecturer for two courses, and he turned up on the Friday for one assessment, and the previous day he should have had another one, and he hadn't turned up for that. And she's like, I'll just, I'll not give you a hard time about it now. I'll just see at the end and we'll sort it another day for a reset. I'm sitting there thinking, like, I fucking turned up and did that exam on time. Yeah. Like, I wish I could have got an extra week, an extra 2 weeks or whatever. But anyway.
You probably got a bit of benefit of the doubt, though, because you're a bit older than I, so they probably feel a bit sorry for you and stuff.
Aye. What do you mean, benefit of doubt? Fucking blasted one thing.
Who's the old boy?
Concessions.
How's the old boy going?
Bless him, he comes in every day.
It's funny because we were
never hungover.
Never hungover.
I was doing this bit of networking homework, and I don't know if you've ever had to work at like IP addresses and subnets and stuff like that. But it's all stuff that I've been aware of, but I haven't had any idea how to put this stuff together. And we got sent away with a subnet challenge, which is going to be like a wee sort of prelim for our logbook assessment that's part of the networking unit. And you're given an IP address to start with, and you've got to work out how many hosts and network bits and subnets and blah, 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 blah. And I'm looking at the IP address that we were given, and I'm looking at the table underneath that was pre-populated, and I'm working out all my bits and pieces. And I had to go back to lecture and say, look, I've worked this out 3 times, and I'm coming out with the same answer every single time. And the table at the bottom that's pre-populated that you said was like a hint to keep us on the right lines. I was like, it doesn't match up. Doesn't match. And she went, and I gave her all my workings, and she said, no, I agree with you. She said, well, the worrying thing is that 3 people have submitted their homework already, and it's wrong. They've never asked. So there is some benefit to being the old guy on the course and just going, no, that's fucking wrong.
Because they're not challenging it. That's it. They've not learned that yet. Not learned that
yet.
Yet.
They'll not turn up for their exams, but I'll be the one making the big bucks at the end of it.
Aye. Right. Everybody still awake?
No, God, that's the dullest job that you could ever fucking do.
Exactly. Networking is fucking boring. If there's any guys that work at networking out there,
see, when you say networking, I was thinking something totally different, like going to.
Were you thinking like talking to folk?
Meeting people. Right. We'll move on. 30 minutes on the clock. First question of the night comes from Mike. It says, what did Squirrel say to that clown of a ref? Did you hear Jack Ross's explanation of what Boyle said to him that he said to the ref?
No.
Not properly. No. I've heard bits of it, but no.
And I think it was along the lines of Boyle was sort of angry about his own performance, and the referee picked it up as something different. I watched the highlights today, and I'm pretty sure Boyle was very, very direct about who he was.
He was pointing at him.
Who was talking to. I've had a shite game.
I was watching it last night and I thought, what are you doing? Hanlon was there trying to keep bodies away from it because he was trying to do the captain's bit and that, tell him how shite he was with telling him how shit he was, and then Boyle just appeared to neighbour with finger pointing and everything. I thought, oh, for fuck's sake, like, what are you doing? But then with a ref like that, he's always got to pull at the red, isn't he? That's it. He's Kenny's trying to make a name for himself. Whatever. Although I've just discovered today he was the boy that Heckingbottom wanted to knock his teeth out for. The refs wouldn't
really?
Heckingbottom that time.
I wish it's maybe be saving it up for the night there, isn't it?
Aye, it was the one when I think he told Heckingbottom to shut the fuck up or something. Heckingbottom said he wanted to knock his teeth in. Or
Knock his teeth
out.
out. Well, anyway, what do we think Squirrel said to him then?
You better be listening to Shortbangers on Mon's night.
I'm going to text at 80295 and tell everyone that you're fucking shit.
I hope he just called him a
The
cunt.
thing is, it was funny though, because to stray into Longbangers territory, but you're almost thinking, what is he? Like, the referee was bad, but it wasn't like you're going massive decision that he got wrong there that cost us the game. It was just one of the niggly performances where you go, how's that not a free kick? How's that not a free kick? No going, oh fuck me, that was a definite penalty, or that was offside, or there was nothing like that.
Aye, maybe it was a bit
You
of.
get the ref like that.
Maybe it was a bit of, you know how Martin Boyle gets kicked up and down, but he's never really reacted. And I wonder if that was things maybe bubbling over a wee bit, just fed up with shit. Referees giving shit decisions.
Boyle gets kicked up and down as well, doesn't he, Ken? So
I didn't think he got kicked that many times last night.
No, that's what I'm saying. So Boyle gets kicked up and down quite often when he's playing for Hibs, but he never reacts physically. And I wonder if yesterday was just frustrations bubbling over in terms of the referee's performance and what he was and what he wasn't given, not because of anything physical that happened, because I don't think Boyle was really in the game much last night. But
Boy took him down once and got booked for it. That was it.
right, I'm going to move on because we're talking about football.
It's football, I know. What we're doing.
Dave Graham says, when does bad luck become a habit? I'm not sure if this is today with nuns.
When does bad luck become a habit?
Can you be habitually unlucky?
Nah, you can be habitually shite.
There must be folk though that are habitually unlucky, though, Kim, that just things never go right for them.
Like the folk that you read about in, I don't know, like in the
Unlucky
local
Monthly.
newspaper. Aye, or the Unlucky Monthly, like the person that, like in February, they tripped over a curb and broke their ankle, and in March they were walking down the stairs and like split their head open because they fell or something. Like, you know, the people are just, what's they call them, accident prone, and it's just it's just bullshit.
They're just clumsy.
I don't know what the explanation is for it, but do you know what? I'm going to go out on a limb here and say it's attention seeking. Oh, you hurt yourself again? Are you? You're right, accident prone, aren't you? Fuck off.
Deliberately break their ankle and that, just so that they can get a bit of attention.
On purpose.
Aye, it's funny too because one of my mates will be listening to this. He broke his ankle a couple of years ago, and I called bullshit because I never ever saw a cast. And he ruptured his Achilles tendon recently, and he made sure of showing me his moon boot every time I went round to see him. You see this? Fucking ruptured my Achilles. Aye. Fucking held it all before.
Aye. Now, Kenny, has Colin calmed down yet?
From Monday?
I think from Fixture Gate, probably.
From Fixture? Oh, aye. No, not really, but what can I do about it? If Hibs isn't doing anything about it, what am I going to do about it? You know what I mean? I've offered today's job for fucking 3, I think is what I said on Monday, so I'll carry on. Still, the offer's still there, mate. I still think you're a lying cunt. All the things that I called you.
It's funny because we were having a wee bit of a laugh on Twitter, and you'll not see it, Colin, because you've not got Twitter, but I was suggesting that, or someone had suggested that you might kidnap the fixture boy, and I had a laugh saying that it might be funny if instead of a proof of life picture of a local newspaper with the day's date on it, that you just got Hibs at Dingwall on Boxing Day instead.
It's to prove he was still here.
Do the fixture list, you dick.
There. 150k in Hanlon Hill. Is a dentist just a joiner for your mouth?
Depends how bad your teeth are. I would be thinking more along the lines of a valeter.
That's quite a good analogy, isn't it?
I would say that valeter was more like the hygienist rather than the dentist.
That's probably more accurate, actually.
Cleaner then. But maybe the valeter might fix a couple of wee repairs on that as well while they're in. kind of like they might like fix a bit of the fabric on the seats.
Aye, but
Whereas,
joiner would do the proper
Where
repairs.
do you
though,
get your
wouldn't
car
they? Sure.
cleaned? Where'd you get your car valeted? I'll put
Play
mine
something
in
go
there.
bridge. Play something go bridge. There's a boy from Nidri that he's my cousin's cousin. But aye, anyway, they do a shit like that. They do. They fix wee repairs and things like that. Whereas a joiner would be like proper structural, would they not? Fitting, I suppose you could say fitting a door would be like putting a filling in, would it?
Next
See,
problem
I
I
would-
have with it, right, is when was the last time you saw a dentist with a pencil behind their ear? Or even can the wee fucking scrapey thing that they use that shouldn't hurt but fucking does. That wee thing.
Aye. The reason for that though is not one hygiene, but two, they wear the plastic specs, so you can't get the pencil in as well because they've already got the spec behind the ear.
That's true.
So,
Otherwise,
think
I reckon they would.
a joiner would have more need for safety goggles than a dentist? Now you think
Well,
about it.
Well, you've met my adopted dad,
They do.
and he is absolutely not safety. Sorry, at least he wasn't safety first when he was a joiner. The stories he's telling me about asbestos and humping body double glazing up and down steps. I'm pretty sure that he fell off a building once as well. He was up a ladder and fell off a roof.
Safety glasses wouldn't have been any good anyway in that case.
Exactly.
That's why he's like, it's a point in his specs. I'm going to fall off a ladder.
Fattest Prickers, he'd be a guy to speak to about safety. Like, what's his safety routine when he goes into a job? It's probably just like checking to make sure he's got his sombrero on.
Making sure there's no big dog. Andy's. You're going to go more add to that one? I was going to be on to the next question, but
I was just going to suggest other similar occupations, maybe like engineer, but yeah, we're moving on.
Depends how bad your mouth is. I mean, like I just go to the dentist every 6 months and get a wee clean up and a wee bit scraping and polish.
Do you get the hygienist appointment, Colin, and do you then get the dentist appointment after? Like, are they two separate appointments?
I just go to the dentist, have a wee look and go, aye, they're still all right. Watch that one over there, and you want me to scale and polish? Aye, £12, please. About 11 quid something. That'll do. That's all.
I know.
But you
I'm
can get the
saying,
hygienist if your gums and that are all fucked. You would go to the hygienist.
The dentist I go see, they get everyone in twice a year for the hygienist appointment, and they use this thing called airflow and blast shit and scrape shit off your teeth. And then
like
you go and see the dentist, you're in for 30 seconds, and he's like, your teeth are fine, see you 6 months.
All right. It's like going to see the nurse now to get diagnosed with chest infection rather than the doctor, because they've got nurses that can sign prescriptions.
Or what is it they call them? Is it the duty nurse or the nurse practitioner or something?
Nurse practitioner.
After you've got past the gauntlet of the receptionist, you can ask what's wrong with you. Aye, my dick's hanging off.
And nosy can't say. I wonder if there's any listen. Is this so they can go blabbing to each other when they're having their coffee and their fag later on,
When you turn up, they can rather laugh at you or not.
It's the GP receptionist podcast. You should tune in. There's got to be one out there. I'm going to have a look for it. Like Tales for the Front Desk. That'd be pretty
cool. The front desk. We could just start that one as well.
Aye.
Add it to the long list.
Just put bangers or something on the end.
Aye. Andy asks, what's the 3 key ingredients to a cooked breakfast, and it can't be plate or cutlery? Bacon, egg, and sausages for me. If you're doing a cooked breakfast, those are musts.
That's the right answer. Yeah. Then there's a lot of peripherals around that, but they're the 3 staples. Yeah. Fried egg.
Aye. John?
Like, how do you like your yolk? Runny?
Oh, aye.
Kind of sausage?
Link sausage for me for that.
Just like plain
I like
pork?
a sliced as well.
Or do you like a wee bit of flavoured sausage?
Just plain pork's fine.
You're a straight 442
No,
guy.
I like flavoured ones, but in a cooked breakfast it would be a link pork sausage. Bacon I like smoked bacon, but I like all bacon, but my preference would be smoked.
Do you think there's anyone out there that likes bacon that goes, I really like bacon except for rashers, like a particular type of bacon? I feel like that's
cheap shite bacon. Kind of one there's more white in it than there is pink.
Aye, there's definitely folk who have preference for it. There's a wee bacon roll van down on the site that something use, and he gives you the choice of crispy or uncrispy or chewy. Bacon. and I didn't mind either way. Like I was whatever you've got, because he cooks it all, just heats it up. It's fucking nice.
Is that the boy that puts the sauce on for you as well?
Aye.
I'll need to give me the exact location of that so I can avoid it.
The other thing he does when he puts the sauce on, right? John likes to put his own sauce on, but he does it like a spiral. So do you know when you put I did that. If I put sauce in a bacon, I'll just splodge like that, chuck the roll down. But he,
he's like a barista.
Aye.
I was actually just thinking that as well. Like, can he maybe do like a wee Christmas tree design during the winter?
I'll ask him.
Get a wee stencil out. Oh, could you imagine like if it was one of the like a dodgy roll van, the stencil would have like all that congealed sauce underneath it. Delicious.
What else do you have on your cooked breakfast? What's your ideal cooked breakfast? Like bacon, sausage, egg. What did John answer it actually?
No,
you answer it then first, and then we could talk about what else you'd have on your plate.
Weetabix. Wait for it. Weetabix and
porridge.
Porridge.
Someone else cooking it. Someone else doing the washing up. I sit on my arse the entire time. That's my 3 ingredients. 3. I've not had a cooked breakfast. It's not something that I would do. It's not something I would make for myself. But the wife and I, we quite like on a Sunday having a bagel with like bacon and black pudding or bacon and haggis on a bagel, bit of cream cheese, brown sauce. I tend to go for the brown sauce as well because I know that that's a weird combination, but I like
fucking right.
I like a combination of flavours and textures in there.
Cream cheese with your black pudding and bacon.
Aye, it's good.
I don't think cheese with like if you're having a bagel with like salmon or something on it, but
Aye,
with your bacon and black pudding.
We just talked about Philadelphia, John.
Aye, reduce fat, obviously. Because I've been on a diet for a fucking year and a half.
On my birthday, I went over to Edinburgh just to Christopher to see Josh. He bought me breakfast. We went to a wee cafe on St John's Road. I can't remember the name of it. Cafe Vigo or something like that it was called. And it's got full Scottish. And it was just about almost the best breakfast that I've had. Fucking superb. I would definitely recommend it. But we were away for your 40th call, and the breakfast we had cooked for us on the Saturday morning.
Hotel.
Aye, that was amazing.
Yeah,
that was really good. I would go. So if I was making it myself or going out somewhere to get it, so bacon, sausage, fried egg, black pudding, haggis, tatty scone, mushrooms.
Aye, I like a bit of tomato as well, but like the plum tomato, like the ones that even just the ones you get out of the jar. I don't like beans with it. I like having that rather.
My problem is with the plum tomato is that, apologies to anyone listening, it makes me think of an abortion, basically.
I've never seen one.
Or a blood clot or something. It just looks like there's something. So I know that there's another question where someone says, who was the first person to eat old fruit and get pissed on it? But who was the first person that went, can't see that tomato? I'm just going to rip the arse off it and then I'm going to serve it up. It's going to look more appetizing. It doesn't even go with a breakfast. Like I'm not particularly precious about like things touching each other on plates, but see the juice for a plum tomato just like congealing with the rest of your breakfast. Fuck that.
You put cream cheese on your black pudding, mate.
I know.
Your opinion's invalid.
I wouldn't have tomato on it either, but it's
I would go for a grilled tomato.
I don't like it with certain things. Aye,
I'd go for a grilled tomato.
But I don't mind. I like the juice from it to dip like my tatty scone into, or a bit of toast if you get a bit of toast with it. And that's why I like it. But I prefer that to beans. Because sometimes, if you get the beans with it, I quite like it when they put it in the wee dish, because then I can just ignore them. Whereas if they're on the plate, I've got to eat it.
Like a wee bastard child at the side of your plate.
And a bit of sliced sausage as well, you missed that, as well as a bit of link and a bit of sliced on the plate too.
Sliced sausage I can take or leave away. I always think sliced sausage is overrated. Sometimes it's nice, but it's very easy to overdo it. And it's that chewy way. And it's like
good bits in there. Yeah, absolutely. Aye. But if it's a good bit,
I think its natural home is on a roll rather than on a plate.
On a roll with a tatty scone.
Yes. Aye. Not with cream cheese, but with brown sauce.
Yeah.
I'm a brown sauce guy.
Right, Fats Prickus. Since it is primarily the army who use them, should camouflage and ammunition be renamed to camouflage and ammunition?
Yeah, why not?
I can get right behind that.
It makes complete sense. You think why haven't I thought of that themselves?
Aye.
How do we know?
Well-
we need to get Alex on this.
Again, if you think about it, though, maybe the whole purpose of camouflage that is so it's no seen, and maybe if they called it camouflage, folk would automatically associate it with the army, and then
And start looking for it.
yeah,
Aye, that seems likely.
That's a strange
Aye.
logic. I'm
Yeah.
really happy that Matty cleared up the confusion that I've had over camouflage. Like the whole
Well,
point of it not being to be seen.
Lee's next question: why is John such a cunt? That's no his question.
because of
Right?
his-
It's-
it was because of his-
That's no his question. It's not his question. His question.
It's because I was breastfed as a child, but equally unloved by my mother.
His question was actually, why does a wombat have a circular hoop but shakes out square jobbies? Now, I didn't get the logistics of this. Surely, if it comes out a circle, it should stay that shape.
Like a tube.
Uh-huh.
Aye, but there must be. We've talked about inner and outer sphincters before. Were you saying, Matty, that one of them knows when you're going to poop, and one of them
Yeah.
and also knows when you're going to fart,
Yeah, it
and it
tells you
sort
if
of
it's a-
controls what the second one does. But so if we have two sphincters working independently of each other but communicating with one another, surely the wombat's sphincter or sphincters can communicate with one another and say, right, we're going to make cubes today, or we're going to make wee stars, like a wee Play-Doh machine.
So, are we saying that when it passes through the inside one, that must be square shape, and then the ring hoop must be bigger than the square, so it doesn't change the shape of it. So when it comes out,
Possibly, but to expand on that just a wee bit, and because you've both got dugs, have you ever accidentally caught sight of your dog's arsehole when they've barked?
barked. Nut.
It's like
No.
a wee momentary, like, it
It's
just sort of like winks at you.
Jenkins stuck in the air to project out the other side.
Possibly, aye, like a wee, aye. So I wonder if, like, it's possible that the wombat's second sphincter is bigger than the first, and it just falls out cube-like.
Aye. I've never seen a wombat shit before.
Colin?
No idea. I'm keeping out of the conversation. I've got no idea. None to add.
I
No,
was
I didn't
reading,
even know they were square. That's how far back I am in the process.
I double checked it earlier, but I remember hearing about this a while back. But seemingly it's I don't know if it's like an evolutionary or a biological thing, but it's for easy stacking and easy marking of the wombat's territory, like so it doesn't roll away. Just sits like wee blocks of Tetris kind of getting built up.
This is the wee tune when they're shitting. David asks, why can't they fly? The wombats, not the jobbies. If you're called a bat, you think you should be able to fly?
Well, Batman doesn't fly. Well,
So
not
glides,
by
doesn't he?
himself. Aye.
He's a fictional character, though, isn't he?
This is also true, yeah. Whereas wombats are real. Maybe they're not. Maybe we've been mispronouncing it over the years and giving them a hard time for not being able to fly because of the bat connotation. Maybe they're woomats. And then they're not the day with flying.
Have they got wings?
Again, don't think so.
Because that may be why that may be one reason.
See if something's a fictional character, like take Batman for example, but it's portrayed by a real person. Like it makes the leap from comic book to like cinema screen. Are they still fictional?
Aye, because made up.
But it's kind of real. Like it's
It's not. It's made up.
but like I didn't mean like there's a real Bruce Wayne out there. But
No, but somebody wrote a script for it, though, so it's made up.
It's entirely made up. And then they pretend that that's what they're doing. It's just like a big game of let's pretend, isn't it?
That's what I think it is.
Aye, but what I'd say, right, is so you've got Star Wars t-shirt on the now, Matty, right?
Yep.
So Star Wars, I think, was a comic to begin with, but Star Wars is still fictional in as much as it's no real. It can't be recreated. Like you've not got the boy doing was it the Kepler run in so many parsecs or whatever it was.
With that, yep.
However, Batman has made it from a comic book and is portrayed by a real person on screen doing what human beings can actually do. Is that still fictional, or is it
Yeah,
have some sort of basis in reality?
It's made up.
it's still.
Good look up fictional in the dictionary when you're doing your fucking networking shite.
See, if you take away the superhero aspect or the science fiction aspect, all right, what you're basically asking, right, is was Trainspotting a documentary?
Yeah, it's Tony. It was
Right.
Tony Soprano really a bad guy, like, or James Gandolfini, was he really bad?
Aye, I suppose.
De Niro's a
I
bad guy.
feel like there's a bit of a grey area with the word fictional. I think we need more words in the English dictionary to describe these things rather than fiction, non-fiction.
Made up, pretend, make believe, imaginary. How many do you want?
I've just had this idea calling you Matthesaurus.
Right, Matt asked, to kill an elephant, how many chickens would be required?
This could be in one of John's books that he was talking about last week. I reckon, kind of one about the lion that.
Oh shit! I meant to send you the link about that.
Oh, I
Let
didn't
me write
bother.
that down.
I'm not going to read that. I'm not going to read it.
No, but it's interesting. Promise.
Aye. Is it fiction or non-fiction?
Scribbles down Maasai warriors for
You were
Colin.
if you were going to try and kill an elephant with chickens, what method would you approach the task with?
Honestly,
I think
a high-speed chicken firing projectile.
Chicken cannon.
Aye. Or chicken cannon or chicken bazooka. What would you go for? Would you go for handheld or aimed for a couple 100 yards away?
I don't know, but it's a question. How would I do it, or how would the chickens do it?
The question is, to kill an elephant, how many chickens would be required?
I reckon 2, because I would ram it down the elephant's throat and sort of suffocate it with the chicken. So I'd sacrifice the 2 chickens. The 2 chickens would die as well.
Aye, like
You're
on
a
a suicide
monster.
mission.
Yeah, aye.
So elephants are herbivores. So do you think eating a chicken would be enough to kill one? Like, would it do enough damage to its guts to?
Well, like poison it.
Aye.
I wasn't thinking mines would get that far. I was just going to try and jam it in the windpipe sort of thing.
Would you try and plug one up at each nostril of the trunk, or would you go for?
I was thinking in the myth, but maybe that would be as good as well, because it would just start being through its nose, eh? Trunk, whatever.
John, if you're firing about a cannon, how many do you think you're going to take to damage an elephant? Are you cooking the chicken first? Are you cooking the chicken, or is it live or dead when you?
Well, you could theoretically freeze the chicken and fire it out a bazooka or a cannon. I think that would probably do more damage than a living one, just because of the well, I don't know if it's mass, but it'd be harder.
The frozen one, aye. You could let it go off and just feed it, poison it. It's like food poisoning.
But to expand on Colin's point about jamming one down or jamming 2, I actually thought when you said 2 chickens that you were going to say jam one down its throat and one up its arse.
In case he breathes out his arse.
In case you wanted to bark. I wonder how much trouble we would get into if we rocked up. If we try to find out if we rocked up at the Serengeti with a cannon and a big fucking frozen chicken. What are you doing, boys?
Well, we'll go to the zoo,
elephant.
We'll just to the zoo at the barn.
I suppose How you getting a can at the zoo?
No, but you could ram one to the throat though. They could do my one at the zoo. Cannon would be a bit hard. You'd need to set up at like Murrayfield or something and just like get a good vantage point.
Right, if you're a chicken and you've killed an elephant, text it 80295 and let us know how you did it. Ladij asked, if Longbangers ever went for a side hustle and harvesting body parts, who would seduce the victim and who would do the surgery? Go on, I'm putting you. I've seen the messages we get about your dulcet tones, to coin a phrase that we talked about the other day. So you're definitely on the seduction, but
John,
aye,
Jinky's got the chat for it.
I don't know.
I think his voice is just nice enough to send folk to sleep.
Aye,
Just talk to him about networking.
Aye, we heard the story at the
By
start.
the way, have you heard my homework?
Yeah, that's a good shout.
Next thing they're waking up in a bath of ice. What the fuck's happening here?
Was this something that was in the news recently? Like, is someone getting harvested for body parts?
I don't know.
Ladij just setting up his own business. Maybe it was that he's looking to recruit us into the
Have you been
operation.
watching Squid Game, John?
Maybe that's what I'm getting confused with, because that was a black market in body parts, wasn't it?
Oh, spoiler
You see,
alert!
there
I
was-
to watch there, but
Come on, it's been out for about 3 weeks.
I've not
It's on
finished.
Netflix.
I've watched like 4 or 5 of them. So
Fuck off. You only
I've
watched 4 or
watched them.
5?
I've not seen them all yet. I've only watched a few of them.
I've not seen any.
There was
Anyway,
a North Korean person seemingly sentenced to death by firing squad for smuggling in copies of Squid Game into the north for the south.
I can't get my
Well,
head
it's
around
probably
all that stuff with the censorship in Korea. It's mad how do you think like folk would ever find out stuff. But anyway, we can
I think
digress.
John- I don't think John's got to do the chat, but he could maybe do. He could definitely put people to sleep in that, no doubt, right? But I don't know if he's got the conscience. Like I think it would worry him too much.
I think it's too nice a person. Like it would bother him doing it.
Well, I think it would. I think he would be a bit like he'd start backing out and that waking them up and stuff. Let me tell you more about this. Networking sub things.
I'm not finished.
Subfacts
Wake
about
up.
it.
Yeah,
I'm not
no,
finished.
but that's the thing. Like, there's serial killers that I've read about. I don't know if any of you watched Criminal Minds. Was it Criminal Minds that was on
That was a program.
Netflix? Well, there was a couple of them, but they were based around the same thing. It was FBI profiling of like people that had carried out serial killers. And I got reading the the boy that set up the behavioural analysis unit for the FBI, a guy called John Douglas. And he was talking, like, in a couple of his books, he'd referred to a couple of serial killers, some of them who would almost kill their victim, revive them so that they could go through the thrill of killing them again. And I just had this mad idea there, knocking someone out. We chat about networking. And then just when they thought I'd had enough, I'd revive them so I could tell them about next week's homework.
and then I tell the teacher I'd done something wrong.
That table doesn't make sense. I've checked it 3 times.
3 times.
There was I can't remember if I mentioned it before. Remember the Boundary Bar on Leith Walk? The Evening News did a thing about Edinburgh's roughest pubs one time, and the story that they included about the Boundary Bar to show how rough that was somebody who was in a fight there, knocked the person out that they were fighting, got a jug of water for the barman, revived the person so they could knock them out again.
Amazing. Wake up.
Wake up. Where am I, boys? Back again. Good night. I can only remember went to the Boundary Bar a couple of times, and it was always all right when I went in.
I think I've referred to it as the Boundary Bar before. My mate's wife will always correct me and say it's just the Boundary. Is that right?
Aye, but
Is that the one that's the beer house now?
it's shut now. I think what it is now. It's definitely not that anyway. Right, that's us out of time for that episode. Thanks everybody for sending in your questions. We'll be back in a couple of minutes with a new episode. Catch you later on.
Well, they trailed me down when I broke memory. I drank all the whiskey in Tennessee. I don't drink what I know.